Tom Patty joining me now live. Welcome to Fox 40 News at 11.
So good to be with you, and thank you for having me on today.
Definitely. Your opponent has spent the last few days calling out major utilities in the state and trying to take down one of the biggest projects in this state. Want your opinion about some of these moves and how you are approaching these issues. Let's start with what's now being called the Delta Conveyance Project, referred to over the years in its various forms as the Delta Tunnels Project. Yesterday during this hour, Congressman Harder stepped off the floor and announced that he's filed a bill designed to kill this project for good. Does this now one tunnel project have your support or not?
No, we must stop that tunnel. In fact, I'm very proud that in the last several years as county supervisor, myself and other local leaders in the region, we banded together, we petitioned, we fought, we resisted, we challenged, and the Twin Tunnel project was stopped. So they're reinventing this new conveyance, and it's still a bad idea. We are united. We will be successful. We know the negative environmental impact. There is no win-win on this. So we will be stopping it. There's no question about that. And we welcome this congressman from Turlock that's currently serving in Stanislaus. We welcome him to the fight. I mean, you know, we've been doing this for quite a while, but we're glad to have help in every and any capacity.
PG&E under fire in our state for sparking some of the biggest, most destructive and deadly wildfires here. Now your competitor is demanding that the utility suspend its tiered pricing structure because folks in the Central Valley, he says, are getting $700 bills from the heat wave we all just suffered through. Do you think this is just grandstanding in your opinion? Are you as a supervisor and a candidate getting similar complaints from people about their utility bills during the heat wave?
Well, first off, it is grandstanding. And why do we have this going on? You know, there's a war on energy right now, and at every level. We have effectively forced PG&E to spend dollars and allocate resources that they normally would have put into management. How about we talk about the management of our the trees and the habitat? That's 30% of its federal land. We should be between 100 to 200 trees per acre. We're up to 1,000 trees per acre. So we need better management of the state and our natural resources. But you know, there are oftentimes extreme environmental groups that prevent that proper management. It really is a stunt. He doesn't have any authority, and he's not going to even have any influence of what PG&E does in their billing. PG&E needs to be paid in order to keep the lights on, so to speak.
Alrighty, every jurisdiction across the state is struggling with homelessness. You think there needs to be an entire national strategy on this, and you think that organizations on the front lines need to open their books and be accountable in a different way for what they're doing for those in need. Why do you think that that would advance this cause better and ensure that more people get helped?
So that's a really great question, because that really was the #1 issue before inflation has trumped it and other issues like COVID. But first and foremost, it is a humanitarian crisis. And I appreciate that my opponent is sharing the sentiment that I expressed first, that we need to call a national emergency. We need to capitulate from the housing first and shift more into the emergency services at emergency shelters with larger capacities, with resources, individual assessment, and a humanitarian approach, which of course includes mental health services, drug treatment, and eventually gateways. I mean, honestly, look at your St. John's program in Sacramento for women and children's shelter. They have proven methodology of how to effectively manage it, but it does require sobriety. It does require mental health services, and it requires gateways, stages, steps, and programs to get a person to a better place. And it's not a 28-day sobriety program. We're talking about months of engagement that brings people to security and stability.
There's a huge national debate right now about the cost of a college education in general and whether or not there should be the kind of student loan forgiveness that the Biden administration has backed. You're a big backer of vocational education. Why is that, and what do you think that can help the Central Valley and the country achieve that's not happening right now?
Well, if you look at in this next 10 years, you're going to have about 50% of the workforce retiring. So we want to have educated people. We also need people in trades. 70% of your economy is mom and pop local businesses. So we want to enhance that workforce. Those that want to go to college need to go to college, but a higher degree is fantastic. But there are bountiful jobs that you can get in 6 figures in the trades, whether it's HVAC, electrical, plumbing. These are very honorable jobs and things that I've done since a kid growing up. I am a tradesman. I grew up in own businesses and do exactly that. It's a service industry. So we should not be forgiving loans. There are people that work their way through college and they pay for it, but I'm even more concerned about the increase in cost for tuitions that far exceed the cost of living expenses. So we really have to have some oversight on what exactly our students and our children are being burdened with. And how about this? No interest loans if you want to get an education.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
All righty, and we're almost out of time, but I have to ask you, Mike Tyson used to be a sparring partner of yours?
So Mike and I lived together and trained together for 5 years. And sometimes when there was no middleweights and there was no heavyweights in the gym, Mike and I would get in the ring, we'd train, we'd spar. But I have to tell you, I did take it easy on him. I didn't inspire perhaps a more acrimonious battle in the ring. We just challenged each other. We lived and trained with a great legendary trainer, Cus D'Amato, and we were all the better for it. In fact, I'll see Mike September 30th. He's going to do a fundraiser for me in Miami.
All righty. Okay. Well, definitely all developments with the campaign that we will be following. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.